don't wanna spend another lonely night. Ooh. I've got the lights turned up, the doors locked, the bed.
Hey guys, it's Faith. This video is it's just going to be a tips and tricks for the phone interview. I hope this is helpful. This is the tips that help me the most every time that I'm applying. It's always good to brush up on them because you forget them. So I've compiled a list of about 15 tips, it's not too much, to just kind of try to remember for whenever you get your phone interview, because if you have joined the Facebook group, you will know that apps will be dropping January 26th. Like my Tinkerbell calendar? My grandma got it for me. So that's 3 days from now. Monday, January 26th. Applications will drop. We don't know the time. I'm assuming it'll be in the morning just because that's when it's been the past few times. So, who knows? So I'm just going to go over these tips really quick so that this video isn't forever long. But before I do that, I do just want to give you guys some cool news. My big sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, and my new little niecey are going to be in my next video, which my next video will actually be about the application process and what stage I am in that in the application process. But my brother-in-law is the one who got me this camera, so he obviously deserves to be in at least one video. And I just kind of want you guys to get familiarized with my family. And my niece is amazing, so everyone has to see her anyways. Okay, so just right into the tips. My very first tip is to stay calm. I know that sounds a lot easier whenever you say it than it does to actually do it, because believe me, as soon as you get to like 2 hours or even the morning of your phone interview, depending on when your phone interview is, you're going to be filled with so much nerves. It's going to be crazy. And it's so hard to stay calm. But as soon as you get on the phone and if you're anything like me, my interviewers have been able to put me into at ease so easily. I mean, and it's just like I was 2 breaths away from a panic attack. And they would just be like, hey, we know that you're nervous, but this will be as painless as possible, and just they're really, really good at their job, and they will get you calmed down as quickly as possible. So there's nothing to be nervous about. Remember your interviewer's name, and be sure to use it several times throughout your interview. Don't just use it at the end. Anytime that they reference you, like, okay, say I'm the interviewer. Alright, Faith, we see that you worked here at Walt Disney World before in Magic Kingdoms as a management operator. Can you tell me a little bit about that job? And you could say, or I would say, well, I was a main entrance operator in Magic Kingdom in 2012. A couple of my main duties were this, and this, and I really enjoyed my time there. Interviewer's name. I'm going to go with Susan, so I would be like, and I really enjoyed my time as a main entrance operator, Susan. And that's how I would end that question. Just make sure that you really remember their name and use it throughout the interview, because they like to know that you are good with names and stuff like that, because that's one of Disney's bigger things, is to remember names. And I know that this is a tip that everyone hears all the time and it's super common, but smile. It helps. It really does. You sound like a cheerful, happy person. Even though the phone interview can't see you, smile, because it really does help, and it calms you down whether you know it or not. It calms you down because it's like, reverse psychology. You're tricking your body into being happy and just not nervous. So smile. And this one is actually one of my most adored friends. My friend Savannah. She actually, thank God for her, because anytime I have like any worries or anything, I'm just like, Savannah. And we talk every day, and one of her biggest pieces of advice that's stuck with me for a long time is to be confident, not desperate. And I think that that's a really big thing, and I think that people get that mixed up a lot. And whenever they're going over their phone interview questions, and they're just like, man, I just really sound like I'm trying to sell myself. And essentially that is what you're doing, but there are two ways to go about that. And you can go about that with confidence, or you can go about that with desperation. And obviously, you should go for confidence, because a company wants to know that you're confident in your abilities and skills before they hire you, because we don't want someone who's so unsure of themselves that they're just meh. So be confident, not desperate. Don't go Disney crazy. I made this mistake my first time. Well, okay, my second time applying. The first time I applied, I got accepted, and I did my program, and then I applied again, and I kind of went Disney crazy. And I was just going, I just really love Disney. Or why do you want to work for Disney? I just really love Disney and everything about it. And, it's just one of my favorite places to be and all this other stuff. And it's just not appropriate at all. You don't want to go Disney crazy. You want to give valid points as to why you want to work there. I mean, of course, you loving Disney is a valid excuse, but don't go overboard with it. So that's something you should work on. And I need to work on it too, so I'm not just like preaching this and then ignoring it, because these are all interview tips for me as well. Like, these are all things that I have to go over and just really work on. This next one is my my biggest problem. So, and you'll see why. Try not to say too much. You sound like you don't know what you're talking about when you say every other word. And if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know that is one of my favorite words. So I have to work on cutting back my usage before my phone interview, so that's going to be hard. Be knowledgeable about your top roles. Your top roles, they changed it up this season. They ask you which roles you feel that you are most oh my goodness. You feel that you are most qualified for, instead of what are your top 3 roles. Just, you could pick any role, whether you've done anything in that area before, ever. So, so be knowledgeable about that. So if it was me, I would say, I've worked at summer camps. So I would love, recreation is probably one of my top roles. I worked at summer camps all my life, so that's probably going to be my top role. And then merchandise, because I've worked at several clothing stores. And then quick service or full service food and beverage, because I've worked at restaurants before, and they're all things that I feel very confident in my skills and my ability to do these things in a very Disney-like manner. So make sure you go over that, because that really tripped me up last season whenever they were like, instead of asking me what my top roles were, they were like, which 3 roles do you feel most qualified for? I was like, what? No, I don't want that question. I want, what are my top 3 roles? But, I mean, and obviously, I think you can segue into, maybe if you would like to do a role that you don't really have any experience in, as long as you can give like a good solid argument as to why you think you would be qualified for that role, even if you haven't ever done it before. know at least one thing about all the roles that you put any amount of interest in. Even if you put low interest in custodial, you could still be cast for that role. So make sure that if you are going to put an interest in anything, make sure that you could actually see yourself doing that role. Because even if you don't talk about it in the phone interview, you can still be cast for it. And they'll bring that up in your phone interview. They'll list off the roles that you put interest in, and they'll ask you, are you still interested in these roles? And you can yay or nay some of them if you decide later on that you would really not rather do that one, or you would be okay with doing that. But even if it's not one of the top 3 roles that you feel that you're most qualified for, and they ask you about it, you don't want to sound stupid like you don't know what a role is. So make sure you look into every role that you put any kind of interest in. Don't lie, because they will find out. Most people will kind of fib about the Disney look, whether or not they are in the Disney look. Be that their hair, their hairstyle, piercings, visible piercings, or visible tattoos. It's a stupid thing to lie over. You could get termed about it. You can get termed over it. If you have a tattoo on your wrist, tell them, be honest, because you don't want to be put in a role where you can't cover that up. Because in most, I think it's in quick service and full service, you can't cover up, you can't put band-aids or whatever on your wrist or whatever, because that's unsanitary. And so you don't want to be cast in that role if you're just going to get termed because you lied in your interview about having a tattoo. Just be honest with it. I have one on my left shoulder blade center, and it's about 2 inches tall and maybe 3 inches wide. And it's easily covered up with a tank top. So that's what I would tell my interviewer. And my hair is, I'm fixing to dye it back to its natural color. I just added highlights to it, but I like the natural color better. And no facial piercings, no visible piercings. I have 1 piercing in each earlobe. Don't try to hide piercings from them because, again, you can get termed over that, and that's so stupid to get termed over that when you could just be honest or take the piercing out, for goodness sake. And don't just not lie about that. Don't lie about anything. Don't lie about work experience, because it'll show up whenever you get to your position and you get hired based on something that you said you did in the past and you have no idea what you're doing. Look over all of the possible phone interview questions. This is the most helpful tip on here. I know obviously most of you guys are going to be doing that or already are doing that. I know that I already am. I'm looking over my phone interview questions from last season so that I can be better prepared. You want to, and this is going to segue into my next tip, is to know generally how you'll answer those questions. Next tip, don't memorize your answers. You don't want to sound scripted. They do want a little bit on the spot. They do want you to think about it a little bit. They don't want you to be like, I love Disney because I have gone there every year since I was 7. That sounds stupid. That sounds really bad. And they can tell that you're reading that. You want everything to be open and raw and genuine. So, basically, like, key main things that you're going to hit in your answer, but don't script it. Think and speak positively. I firmly believe in the amazingness of thinking positive, because I think that you can change outcomes whenever you think positively as compared to whenever you think just negatively about a situation. And they'll obviously want you to be speaking positively in your phone interview. You don't want to ever talk badly about yourself or any of your skills or anything like that. So just think and speak positively. My last tip is to make sure that you thank your interviewer at the end of your interview, they make sure and they thank they interview over 1,000 people, and they thank every single one of them for their time and their interest in the Disney College program. The least you could do is extend the same gratitude towards them. And it's super simple. Just thank you so much for interviewing me, Susan, and I hope to meet you in the future. Or good luck with Disney or something. Just make sure that you are thanking them and be genuine about it. Don't be like, yeah, thanks too. Have a good day. That's not very Disney. So just be animated, be happy, think positively, be confident, not desperate. I hope these tips were helpful. They always help me to keep myself calm and just chill about my phone interview. I'm very confident in my chances this time. And also, just a side note, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, I really recommend doing that because that's where you'll get a lot of information first. And that's just if you go to Facebook and search Disney College Program Fall Advantage 2015. I think there's only one group, but there is also a Disney College Program Fall Advantage wellness group, and then there's a non-wellness group. So there's 3 groups, but everyone just joins the main group, and if you're wellness or non-wellness, you could join either one of them as well. So make sure you join the Facebook group. It's awesome. There's some really amazing people on there. I met one of my best friends now on the group, Savannah. She's just bee's knees. It's hard to go a day without talking. So you make great friendships. Even if you don't get accepted, you'll have great friendships and just people to talk to from all over the world. It's a great experience, and don't forget that applications drop January 26th. That's only 3 more sleeps. So prepare yourself. Be honest in your application. Don't be nervous. What happens, happens. Think positively. This is not the end of the world if you don't get in. There's always next semester. And I wish you all the very best of luck. I hope to meet every single one of you guys down there during Fall Advantage 2015 because thinking positively, I'm going to get accepted and I'm going to get my top role and it's just going to be amazing. So be looking up phone interview questions, be studying these tips for your phone interview, and be looking for my video next week featuring my brother-in-law and big sister and my nieceykins. Alright, bye guys, have a magical day.